Welcome to my YouTube channel, Lifetime on the Spectrum, where I propose that it's better late than never to discover why a late autism diagnosis matters after a lifetime lived without it. Lifetime on the Spectrum. Hi, my name is Liz, and I am glad you are here. I often see people in Autism YouTuber comments saying, why get a diagnosis? Because it's not going to change anything. Well, I know for myself, the diagnosis changed many things for me. Other people say, it begs the question for senior citizens, why bother at this point in life? Yes, trying to get a diagnosis can be quite the bother, and each person has their own tolerance level for persevering through all the bother, but I do think it is totally worth it. Granted, there are some people who would rather not know their autism diagnosis so late in life, mainly, I think, to avoid regret over not knowing sooner when something might have been done about the trajectory of their lives. Some people might think, what good will that diagnosis do me? How could it possibly help at such a late time? Or they are afraid they might dwell too much on all the missed opportunities. The level of upheaval after a diagnosis may not suit everyone, and no one should feel pressured to be assessed. It stirs up more feelings, often regret, that get mixed up in other mental and medical issues you might have, dwindling options and opportunities, and other conflicting emotions fighting for your attention as you look back over your life experiences. Now or never? Why now? Why couldn't I have the diagnosis sooner? What has contributed to so many high-masking people flying under the radar, slipping through the cracks, and denied proper diagnoses? I believe it is a combination of missed and misdiagnoses, stigma, bias, limited research, and older doctors not staying current with the latest understanding of autism and other neurodiversities. 1 in 59 children are diagnosed with autism due to increased diagnostic testing and knowledge, but only 1 in 100 adults are diagnosed with autism, which means that hundreds of thousands of adults have no idea that they are affected. Worse yet, most autistic adult females live with misdiagnoses for decades before discovering that they are autistic. Common misdiagnoses include anxiety, depression, bipolar, BPD, PTSD, OCD, ADHD, and/or anorexia. However, to me, the most important statistic states that at least 80% of late diagnosed autistic women report feeling better about themselves, their lives, and their futures after being diagnosed with autism. I myself have suffered multiple diagnoses over my life. In 1990, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety and treated with therapy and Prozac, which helped, but wasn't enough. In 2010, after my son was diagnosed with ADHD, I was diagnosed with ADHD inattentive. Generic Adderall helped me focus, but in the back of my mind, I was wondering if there was something else. The meltdowns, the confusion, and the guilt that I was constantly letting others down continued to plague me. In 2022, I was diagnosed with autism at the age of 65. Finally, I have an answer that has evaded me my entire life. Everything in my past now makes complete sense. The highs, the lows, and everything in between. I can't change the past, but I can change the future. That gives me hope. Authenticity and identity. Because I did not know what was making me feel different than other people I encountered, and I was getting bullied for being different, I started pretending to be like the other people around me. Acting like other people didn't feel natural to me, almost like I was forced to play a board game with the instructions missing. I watched other people and copied what they did. Because I couldn't fit in, as a matter of survival, I taught myself to blend in. I got so used to pretending to be like others that I would forget that was what I was doing. But deep inside, I often fell victim to imposter syndrome because I knew I was being a chameleon to match how other people acted. Finally, getting a diagnosis is such a relief. Now I know that autism explains me. I had been masking, feeling like I was an alien, feeling like a fraud, and that I might get caught out at any time. But now I can live my life authentically and be myself. Little discoveries that really amount to a world of difference. I see me first. I don't see who I think I should be first. Instead of feeling less than, I can feel complete. All of these things that have caused such psychological stress no longer do. Now I can stop being a stranger to myself. I lost who I was as a person because I masked for so long. I cried for all those lost years. Grieving for what could have been is a process that might never end, but we need to work through it at our own pace. Who am I? Good question. Yes, it is important to get to know my authentic self, and I am beginning to appreciate who I really am. Compassion and forgiveness. Different, not less. Not broken, stupid, or crazy, just different. Now I can eliminate gaslighting or being too hard on myself. I can accept my limitations and accommodate them rather than berating myself for them. Things I thought only I struggled with because I'm the problem. But now I am learning not to leave myself in uncomfortable or overwhelming situations until I boil over and take it out on those around me. I am finally on a path to feeling less shame over my symptoms. Identifying challenges in your life can help create a more functional, comfortable, and satisfying environment. Understanding why my life has turned out the way it has given me peace of mind and a sense of vindication. Forgiving myself is one of the most important things ever. I thought I was the problem, that I wasn't good enough, so I put myself down. I spent my whole life wondering what was wrong with me, trying to fix myself, but there is no fix for autism, only acceptance. Better understanding of autism showed me where I can learn and grow and takes away the stress and pressure of having to perform to neurotypical expectations, that it is not all my fault. Burnout, shutdown, or meltdown is explained by not getting the support I need, and it takes away blame and shame. Forgiveness, patience, and grace all help me cut myself more slack. I feel like I can finally stop trying to be normal and give myself permission to shape my life in a way that's comfortable for me without feeling guilty. Learning to advocate for myself, ask for help when I need it, accept help when I need it, and realize I don't have to do it all myself. Answers and acceptance. Having the vocabulary to finally explain to others what has been going on inside my entire life. That is why diagnosis is so important. People who don't experience this would never understand how life-changing a diagnosis of autism has been for me. Researching autism was like having spent a lifetime wandering in a wilderness and finally getting to look at a map. Over time, though, it gave me a proper vocabulary and lens to view and describe things. I stopped being a bag of seemingly disconnected weird quirks. Everything fits neatly within the context of autism. It has eased my struggle with a variety of things, especially social commitments. It has helped my relationship as it has provided my husband with a better context of who I am and why I need certain things. Interestingly, I feel whole in a way I never did prior to my diagnosis. Overall, I have been able to accept myself more because I understand myself more. I'm also now able to prioritize my own needs because I now understand how they impact me. By embracing my natural quirks, for the first time in my life, I have inner peace, and I am happy with all whom I have surrounded myself with. Acceptance of oneself goes way farther in life than conforming ever will. The awareness of my autism has been vitally important. It turned the world right side up and entangled much of the jumbled mass of my experiences, thoughts, and feelings. I'd been stumbling around in a dark, unlit house, and now was all lit up as bright as day. I didn't change. I still had the same difficulties and challenges, but now I saw myself differently, more clearly, more kindly, more calmly. My struggles were understandable, my failures often excusable, my successes more noteworthy. Seeing myself through the lens of autism allowed me to forgive myself, accept myself, and concentrate my effort on things that were actually achievable. Support and accommodation. I wanted professional confirmation of an autism diagnosis for work purposes, accommodation purposes, and Americans with Disability Act, or ADA, protection. I wanted to engineer the environment to support me by learning to say no. I no longer invalidate myself by pretending everything is fine or I don't need help. Self-care and accommodations are important tools for support and taking care of yourself. Autism is a neurological condition that requires support. You can't get support for autism if you don't know you are autistic. After an initial knowing I have autism will change everything, I slowly realized nope. It really changes nothing. I still had to understand myself and live in the world, but just saying, it's good to have the knowledge and the tools, but you have to do the emotional work too. It's completely worth it though. I really look forward to discover how I'm going to take care of myself in a better way from now on. Belonging and final thoughts. Some people are afraid that their own families or friends won't be supportive, won't believe them when they talk about their new diagnosis after living a lifetime masking and hiding. It's hard to feel like you belong in this world when your own family or friends don't understand who you really are. I have learned so much from other autism and neurodiversity YouTubers. One of the best videos I found to help explain my new journey to people important to me was recently created by Taylor Heaton, who hosts the channel Mom on the Spectrum. The episode is called Why Late Autism Diagnosis Matters, What I Wish My Family and Friends Knew. And it explains so many things so clearly and even helped to inspire this episode. I have linked the episode in the description below. Learn to expand your social circle and find a community of other autistic people. It is a brave new world that has such people in it. After spending most of my school years being bullied for being different, which caused me to isolate myself in spite of wanting to belong and have friends, knowing that I have both autism and ADHD has opened up a new community to me, the community of neurodivergent people. Finally, I belong somewhere, feel understood, and appreciated for who I really am. It would have been much better to have been diagnosed at a younger age, but it's better late than never. It's a gift and a curse at the same time. But if I die today, I've gotten to do things and go places 99% of the population will never do, and you can never take that away from me. Stigma and prejudice are a risk, and only you can answer for yourself if that is a risk worth taking. And there's absolutely no reason why anyone should have to look down on you. You survived up to now without a diagnosis. That's champion material right there. Anyone that doesn't recognize that just shows their own ignorance. Give yourself credit for what you have accomplished. It's never too late. If identifying as someone on the spectrum adds value, self-compassion, and greater understanding and support into your life, embrace it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.